Here's everything you might have missed in Marvel's Spider-Man 2 trailer. Welcome back to Nerdist News. I'm Dan Casey, and today we're talking about the best part of Sony's PlayStation Showcase on Wednesday. No, not the Snake Eater remake, the other best thing, Marvel's Spider-Man 2. The hotly anticipated sequel from Insomniac Games dropped a massive new trailer and gameplay demo full of shocking surprises, awesome action sequences, and clues to what this game's story is all about. We're going to break it all down for you in just a moment, and while we're not going to spoil anything per se, if you want to go into this game knowing nothing at all, well, leave now before it's too late. Okay, let's get into it, shall we? The latest gameplay demo for Spider-Man 2 looks absolutely incredible. The combination trailer and demo closed out Sony's PlayStation Showcase and gave us our best look at what to expect from the upcoming PS5 game. While we knew that Venom's going to play a major part in this game based on previous marketing, it appears we're going to be getting Insomniac's take on Bully Maguire as well. It's unclear if you can press X to put some dirt in your eye.
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
Or hit L2 and R2 to bust some sweet moves.
Now dig on this.
But we're clearly going to see how Insomniac's Peter, a genuinely nice guy, winds up becoming a total dillweed thanks to that symbiote suit. And our first clue that it's bad news bears may be the fact that it just wraps around Spider-Man's existing costume like a bunch of goo and he's totally unfazed. So how did Peter get his hands on these sticky new threads? That's an excellent question, because the Venom symbiote suit was shown previously bonding with Harry Osborn. In the previous games, Harry was placed in stasis as treatment for a rare illness he has called Osborn syndrome. And later in Spider-Man Miles Morales, we saw Harry awakening from his stasis along with the Venom symbiote. Now, this game takes place at least 6 months after the events of Spider-Man Miles Morales, so maybe Peter learned the truth of what happened to his sick friend, then paid a visit to Norman's secret lab. Because otherwise, why'd you make me play that Osborn apartment stealth mission in the first game? Now, the mystery of the symbiote suit also ties into one of the other biggest reveals, and that is Kraven the Hunter. The game seems to be invoking the iconic Kraven's Last Hunt storyline, with everybody's favorite vest-wearing lunatic hunting down not only Peter Parker and Miles Morales, but tons of other members of Spidey's Rogues Gallery. In the 1987 original comic book story by J.M. DeMatteis, Mike Zeck, and Bob McLeod, Kraven hunts down Spider-Man and seemingly murders him. Then, to prove that he's better than Spidey in every way, Kraven donned the Spider-Man costume and starts cleaning up New York City in an excessively violent fashion. Naturally, Peter wasn't dead, he was just tranquilized and buried alive, which isn't better. But anyway, it made this an elegant precursor to Doc Ock's Superior Spider-Man arc years later. Here, though, we could see another version of this storyline that unfolded in 2019's Spider-Man Life Story number 3. This retelling of Kraven's last hunt from Chip Zdarsky, Mark Bagley, John Dell, and Frank D'Armata finds Spider-Man being buried alive by Kraven once more, only to be rescued and reinvigorated by the symbiote suit, which promptly bonds with him. And after a climactic showdown with Kraven, Peter manages to free himself from the symbiote. But in the book's final pages, we see a despondent Kraven attempting suicide, only to be thwarted when the Venom symbiote claims the Hunter as its new host. And that might be exactly what we see play out in this game. Bored with murdering other Russians in the jungle, Kraven's seeking a new hunting ground. New York City, baby! On Kraven's murder iPad, we can see a plethora of familiar faces: Black Cat, Prowler, Wraith, Tombstone, Lizard, Taskmaster, Shocker, and Kingpin. Now, the combination of the symbiote suit and Shocker has us hopeful for some truly iconic line readings from Yuri Lowenthal, like in Spider-Man the Animated Series back in the 90s.
Shocker!
The most surprising addition, though, here might be Wraith, the vigilante alter ego of Yuri Watanabe. In the original PS4 game, Yuri was Spider-Man's main contact at the NYPD. So how did she go from Spider-Cop's exasperated colleague to a costumed crime fighter? Well, that unfolded in the City That Never Sleeps DLC. It told a version of Yuri's comic book story. The DLC culminates with Yuri murdering a mob enforcer that was blackmailing her therapist in an effort to get dirt on her. And now that more time has passed, it seems like Yuri's done enforcing the law officially and is delivering her own brand of street justice instead. Now, as for Lizard, Kurt Connor's transformation into his monstrous alter ego only seems to be getting worse. The gameplay demo opens with Kraven's hunters tracking this increasingly kaiju-like Connors, who apparently was hiding out in the basement of Aunt May's house based on that ruined bulkhead. So So why was the lizard hanging out in a suburban basement? Well, Peter's trying to keep him safe because Curt Connors is the only person who can help Harry Osborn. In the post-credit scene of Spider-Man Miles Morales, Curt Connors was the doctor attending to Harry, and Norman Osborn ignored Curt Connors' warnings about what could happen with Harry's illness if they took him out of stasis too early. And it sounds like Dr. Connors was right on the money. Harry is dying and Peter's racing against time to save his friend's life. So why is Curt Connors the key to saving Harry's life? Maybe it's because he has a unique knowledge of the symbiote that's going to wreak havoc across New York City. That is, assuming he can stop eating his body weight in raw fish and turning into Godzilla like we see in the demo. Although Kraven is seemingly the main villain of the game, at some point that role is going to shift over to Venom, who is voiced by Candyman himself, Tony Todd. This demo shows just how deeply the symbiote is affecting Peter Parker's mental state and his aggression levels, and Miles will clearly have to help Peter free himself from its influence at some point. Or who knows, maybe that'll be Shocker's job again. Shocker! But the real question is, will Eddie Brock be the one the symbiote suit ultimately claims as its host? Or will it claim Kraven the Hunter instead? Maybe after he buries Spider-Man alive, proving himself to be a more viable candidate for this murderous alien goo. That's our current theory, because it would be a genuinely awesome way to draw from these various storylines while still making something that feels new to the world of Insomniac Spider-Man games. But speaking of that symbiote suit, before it finds a new host, it's going to lend Peter a whole host of new abilities. It'll let him crush Kraven's goons against their own vehicles, brutalize multiple enemies at once, and shield himself from oncoming attacks. And much like in Grand Theft Auto 5, the game will let you shift between characters, as demonstrated by when they shift the focus to Miles when they're tracking down the lizard. Miles very explicitly has some new powers related to his Venom blasts. Plus, he can also make lines of webbing to sneak around above his enemies, and he has a sweet wingsuit that lets him glide through the streets. But most importantly, he can water ski. He really can do whatever a spider can. I know nothing about spiders. Anyway, folks, there you have it. That's everything we spotted in the Spider-Man 2 trailer. We'll keep you updated over on Nerdist.com until the game comes out this fall. In the meantime, though, tell us, what do you think? Did you spot anything that we missed? And who do you think will wear the symbiote suit? Shocker! Let us know in the comments below, and for the latest and greatest in the world of pop culture, make sure you stay tuned to Nerdist.com.